Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Wilhelm Scream, and welcome back to another day in Destiny 2 for some more Destiny 2 news and the Final Shape / Echoes intel. And in today's video, we are going to be doing a recap on the unlimited time glitch for the 0-hour mission. This will work on the legendary difficulty or the normal version, though I can't really see anybody needing to use it for the normal version. You never know. But on the legendary difficulty, especially for solo players, this is probably the best glitch to know. The only reason I thought I'd do a recap on this particular glitch is because I still get messages asking me if it's still working, so I figured I'd do a bit of a run through of all the glitches that you can use in this mission, the infinite time glitch being the first big one, but then a interesting one that you can use to skip over a couple of sections, probably used best for the normal version, and then a really easy cheese for the end boss that I think will just make your life a lot easier, as the last boss fight can be a bit daunting, especially for solo players. So if you enjoy this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel, and turn on the bell to post notifications so you never miss out on any future Destiny 2 The Final Shape or Echoes content like this. So as you can see right here, as we go back to the beginning, I'm using an emote against this one particular wall. Doesn't really matter where you do this, but I'm just doing that as sort of a setup in order to get the enemies in this area, the ones that I've kept alive, just off my back long enough for the time to tick down to exactly 1 second. Now what you want to do when the timer hits 0 is melee kill or instant kill the last enemy. The reason that this glitch works is because in the last second, the game thinks you've failed, but you also open the door that would allow you to progress. When you do these two things at the same time, when you allow the game to think you failed the mission, as well as open the door to progress the mission, it glitches out and the timer disappears. It will not reappear. There is an occasion where this can instantly just sort of end, but it'll happen in the, I would say, 30 seconds after you actually do the glitch. So if after 30 seconds of doing the glitch you get transported back to orbit, you might just have to try it again. But in general, you will get infinite time, 9 times out of 10. So at this point, you can just do this mission at your leisure. You don't have to worry about any time constraint. You can take as much time at the boss. If you're going for a solo flawless run, this might be a great thing to do, as you can really take your time with the boss to preserve your life. And of course, if you're just trying to do any of the things for the ship or any of the puzzles in the 0-hour mission, this will of course also give you infinite time or unlimited time for that. I will say though, for the ship specifically, it does seem that when you do the infinite time glitch or unlimited time glitch, you can still do the ship stuff, but there's also a bit of a reset that might happen, so you might have to do that particular thing in 2 parts, but the tough stuff you could still do when you have unlimited time. Now, one other glitch that I wanted to share is more of a skip. Now, this is kind of, I think, more relevant for a normal run versus a legendary run, though if you get proficient at it, it could also help during a legendary run. But you're going to be doing the time glitch at the generally same area, so you would probably have to give up one over the other. But for the normal runs where you just want to save a little bit of time, you're not really worried about time running out, you can bypass the first 2 major rooms of ads and go right to the hangar bay through an out of bounds glitch. Now I haven't tried this since Prismatic came out, but I'm sure it's a lot easier to actually make some of these jumps. I was making it very easy on myself and just using my super. Grapple will also work. You'll see when you get under the map there's some floating stairs. You can jump on top of them to make your way across and under the barrier, the invisible barrier that you'll be then using to get back up into the load zone of the hangar bay. And then you'll go through these set of tunnels and ultimately make your way back to this bridge after those 2 areas of ads. As you saw, I kind of jumped up. There's a little bit of an invisible barrier in front of you, so you might hit that when you jump up. That's why I kind of push back as far as I can onto that a group of rocks and then jump up, and I use a sword to sort of tuck myself into the area that would normally maybe push you back unless you have something that has some lunge. So just bring a sword with you if you're planning on doing that. But like I said, I think the infinite time glitch is really going to be the thing that everybody uses, and of course you could also use it, like I said, in the normal version if you really wanted to give yourself as much time as you could ever possibly need, or just do things at your leisure. Probably great for doing the ship puzzle, as I said. And the last thing I wanted to show you is really a cheese spot for the boss. Now, the boss room is weird because if you jump down into the boss room, or once you jump down into the boss room and you die, generally you will spawn back at or close to where the banner is that you can use right before you come into the boss room. Now, that kind of is a pain because you still have to drop down into the boss room. There's going to be all the ads shooting you while you drop down, so by the time you hit the ground, you're already about half health. So what you want to do is establish a different spawn point, and there's really only a couple places, unfortunately, that you can do this in the boss room. One is at the very back of the boss room. There's a little platform there, a group of ads, and the boss even warped there at one point. Not the best place, simply because, as I just said, the ads and the boss will move to that point. But the other is the gantries on the left or the right side of the room. You'll see them. They're like a little catwalk. You can run up onto them, and if you go to the right one, that is the one on the right side of the room, you can actually also make your way up onto this catwalk that's completely above the map. So this actually allows you to traverse the map entirely from above. Now, once you're on to the yellow scaffolding, I'll call it, and I'll call this the catwalk or gantry that I'm on here. But once you're on the scaffolding, you will establish a spawn point there, so long as you're there for about 5 seconds. So once you get to either the scaffolding on the left or right side of the room and you stay there for 5 seconds, you will establish a spawn point, and when you die, you will always be on that scaffolding. If you use the scaffolding to then get up to the catwalk or gantry that you saw me using, you will then be spawning up there. So that makes that even better. So you'll be spawning not only inside of the boss room, but in a place where very few of the ads can actually hit you. And you'll be able to mitigate a lot of damage just based on a lot of the ads will be shooting the stuff hanging below you. There's a crane there, as well as a few other objects, the gantry itself. So I suggest this as a just good place to do this whole encounter. The other thing is when the tanks spawn in, I would recommend bringing a Dragon's Breath with you. Now, the reason I would recommend bringing Dragon's Breath, or at least having it in your inventory to swap to, is because that weapon one-shots the tanks. If you hit them on the leg, they will be 90% gone, or they will be one-shot. I don't know why it does it, but something about the way that that particular weapon distributes damage, it just one-shots the tanks. And that's for any tank, not just these two, but it comes in particularly handy in the 0 hour mission because you get those 2 tanks at the very end. It also will do something very similar with the Brig. And if you throw on a weapon that has Vorpal, so that doesn't need to be the actual weapon you're using, if you do damage with one weapon but then switch to another weapon that has Vorpal on it, the effects, in this case the bleed or damage over time effects of the Dragon's Breath, will be continually rebuffed for even longer than they would normally. So it's just the way that Vorpal works, and it's a great thing to know. If you have any weapon that does damage over time, make sure that you have another weapon that has Vorpal on it that you can swap to once you've used said weapon with the damage over time effects, because it just makes those effects continue for much longer. It used to actually rebuff infinitely, but unfortunately that glitch was patched, but it still does the damage for quite some time longer than it would normally. So establish a spawn point up on top, use the Dragon's Breath. You might take a few deaths, but if you've been doing the infinite time glitch, you won't have to worry about that. If you're going for a solo flawless run, it's also probably the best place to hang out, as it allows you to go from the right to the left, and it keeps you out of danger as much as possible. And hopefully everybody can go out and get their Outbreak perfected. And the craftable perks, Rewind Rounds, the toughest perk to ever pronounce, is available through the Outbreak perfected, and it is amazing right now, especially with Prismatic Builds. I'm sure most people know about it and are probably, or is probably the reason that you're trying to even get the 0-hour mission done. Now, of course, I encourage everybody to always try to find a group to do this if you can, but even in groups, I think you're going to probably benefit from the infinite time glitch, so why just make your life as easy as possible. Of course, you have to wait in the mission until the timer counts down, so there's a little bit of prep to perform this glitch properly, but I do hope everybody can get an Outbreak perfected, all the craftable perks, and have some fun with it with your Prismatic builds. Let me know if it's one of those things that you've been trying to get for a particular Prismatic build. Let me know in the comments section down below. And that is going to conclude all the information for today's video. Hopefully you found something in this video helpful. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel and turn on the bell post notifications so you never miss out on any future Destiny 2, The Final Shape, or Echoes content like this. Remember, you can also follow me on Instagram or Twitter. They'll be linked in the description box down below. Any of those things I just mentioned also enter you into any future giveaways on this YouTube channel, and we do one every 1,000 subscribers, so you never want to miss out. And of course, when and if we reach 100,000 subscribers, we'll be giving away an Xbox Series X, maybe PlayStation, if you're a PlayStation guy, PlayStation 5. I mean, I don't know what's more popular anymore, but we'll do a console of your choice of those two. Or if you play on PC, we'll do a video card. So you can give your frame rate a little bit of a boost. Thanks so much for watching once again. And as always, I'm Wilhelm Scream. Of course, we will see you next time. Oh, and one more thing. If you've watched to this point in the video, you can leave a hashtag The Final Shape, or a hashtag Echoes, or a hashtag 0-hour in the comments section down below for another entry into the next giveaway for this video. Thanks again, and of course, little